In this age of high-rise buildings and high-tech firms, it's easy to forget that the highlight of North Carolina's economic year once went a little something like this. It was a time when folks weren't paying attention to quarterly earnings reports. The focus was on the floor, as warehouses across the state auctioned off North Carolina's most valuable commodity.
Whether you like tobacco or don't like tobacco, it is a big part of North Carolina's heritage, and tobacco built the churches, it built the schools, it built the roads, the businesses in North Carolina.
Agriculture Commissioner Steve Troxler wants to make sure that heritage still has a place in the 21st century. That's why fair officials are staging this mock tobacco auction.
It makes me feel good that they still do this stuff at the fair, where we can see the way it used to be done.
Their speed-speaking skills as sharp as ever, a group of retired auctioneers are showing the crowds the stagecraft that made tobacco auctions such an attraction.
It was serious business about selling tobacco, but it was also showmanship. And I think that's one of the things that I miss most.
95, 5, 5, 4, 3.
The auctioneer was the center of attention at an auction, but he wasn't the only one with the responsibility. He led a group of buyers from tobacco companies, all of whom were making bids to buy the leaves below them.
We were trying to get the most money from the buyers that we possibly could. And if we could get them into a very rhythmic mood, many times they would go away very happy.
Getting those bids was an art form in its own right, with a special cadence as famous as the auctions themselves.
You just got to use your numbers, like 92. If you're going up from 92 to 95, you go to 92, 3, 4, 94, and put a little something in it like that, 95, 5, 95, 6, 7, like that.
75 pound,
Part song, part chant, a proper cadence takes a while to develop. For Paige Roberts, auctioneering was a family tradition.
My dad used to ride me around on Sunday sometime. He said, sing the numbers out. He said, don't worry about the chant, it'll come.
The cadence wasn't all for show, though. The fast speech was a necessity, with bids coming in at a blistering pace.
They only give you 4 hours and sell 2,200 pounds of tobacco like that, so you had to sell fast.
And pay attention to the subtle signals the buyers were giving. Each pile of tobacco belonged to a farmer who was potentially in for a major payday, depending on how the auction went.
In the tobacco communities, the farmers were the primary supplier of business to all of these business people. So they were just as interested in how this crop was going to do as the farmer was, because if it did well, then he was probably going to be able to buy clothes for the kids, shoes for the kid, furniture for the house, maybe even a new pickup truck.
Tobacco auctions are relatively recent relics. In the late 1990s, tobacco companies started buying the leaf from the growers themselves, going around the auction process. By about 2005 or so, auctions had become obsolete.
I would love to have seen that business of mine last, because it was a fast, fascinating kind of business.
These days, tobacco is still grown in large quantities across North Carolina, but the growers sell directly to companies like Philip Morris and R.J. Reynolds.
It's worked fairly well, and I guess, but you miss that auctioneer's chant.
Well, once a year anyway, the Sterling stanzas return. For Colby and Lynn Lambert, it's a chance to give their son a window into something his generation will never see.
We have things in our community that are very reminiscent from what we've seen here today, but yet he really won't remember anything about it because it stopped before his time.
We've moved over 1 million people into the state in just the past 10 years, and there are generations that have never seen tobacco or how we handled it. And tobacco was the crop that built North Carolina.